Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa Alastuey, and on this channel you will find a variety of inspirational and informational videos. So if that sounds good to you and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. My video this week is to share with you my hike at the Guadalupe National Park in Texas. Guadalupe Peak is the highest peak in Texas, standing at 8,751 feet. It is a tough hike and also a very popular hike thanks to social media. The total ascent for this hike is 3,000 feet, and the time to do it is anywhere between 5 and 8 hours, depending on the person. It is approximately 8.4 miles round trip. The best time to go is going to be in the spring and fall because of the summer hot temperatures and the freezing winter temperatures. I did it in mid-March around spring break, and so it was very crowded, but the weather was beautiful. It ranged anywhere between 40 and 65 degrees. So a couple tips that I would recommend if you decide to do this hike is, first and foremost, make sure you have good hiking shoes that are broken into so that you're not contending with blisters. I would also pack plenty of water. The National Park Service, they recommend 1 gallon of water per person. I carried about 2 liters. As I mentioned before, the temperatures were only between 40 and 65 degrees, but in the summer months, definitely pack a gallon of water. I would also recommend the obvious: sunscreen, hat, sunglasses. You will need to take a lunch and some snacks. For my hike, I took peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, oranges, potato chips for the salt, and I also took electrolytes and some energy chews. And I had my lunch, my little picnic at the top of the peak. I would also recommend that you have your phone camera charged up. I was able to have cell service, and even at the top of the peak, I was able to FaceTime family and friends. And then finally, I would recommend hiking poles. I did not use them for the ascent, but I did use it for the descent, and it really helped take off some of the stress and knee and leg pain. So highly recommend a good pair of hiking poles. Okay, so for doing this hike, you are going to need to start at the Pine Springs Trailhead, and there is a parking lot there of about 40 parking spots. I would recommend that you get there by 7:30 a.m. so that you get a parking spot, because if you don't, then you'll have to move to an overflow parking spot at the visitor center, which is about 0.4 miles away. And if that one fills up, there's another third overflow parking spot that's about 0.8 miles away. And so definitely plan on arriving early. I would say before 7:30 a.m. Now, when you start at the trailhead, the first mile is probably the toughest mile in the sense that it is very steep. There's lots of switchbacks. It's very rocky. So you're going to get your heart rate up right away with that first mile. But the views are amazing. Make sure you turn around, spend some time looking into the valley. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And if you can time it with the sunrise, even better. For the second mile, you're going to be heading onto the backside of the mountain, and it is more shady on that side. I would also recommend that you check what the wind is and how gusty it's going to be. There was one section that was super windy for us. I think it got up to about 40 miles per hour, but it can get up to 80 miles per hour up on that mountain. So definitely check the National Park Service site and see what the conditions are. My favorite part of the trail was the final mile up the mountain. This is where you are going to see a panoramic view of Texas and the Guadalupe National Park, including the El Capitan mountain. It's absolutely gorgeous. There are sections that are going to be very steep and narrow, so that can be very challenging. So just keep that in mind. But that last mile is amazing. Again, once you get on top, there is a statue that you can take a picture with, and it's really beautiful. And that's where we had lunch, had a little picnic, and then just enjoyed that. Now, going downhill, again, make sure you use your hiking poles. I didn't really use it until maybe like the last 2 miles, but it can definitely reduce some of that leg and knee pain. So overall, I highly recommend that if you got the opportunity and the time, to definitely check out the Guadalupe National Park. I am not a paid spokesperson. It's just a beautiful trail and a beautiful experience to see Texas in a new way out in West Texas. As far as lodging, you can camp, but I did not do camping. I stayed at a hotel in Carlsbad, New Mexico. That was probably the closest hotel, and that's 55 miles away. So plan for the logistics as well. So I highly recommend it, and I hope you enjoy the video that I put together.